Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Welcome to Real Estate for Life. This is a podcast that discusses pretty much everything real estate. So, one of the things that I wanted to do was bring a platform where myself, my friends, subject matter experts could actually uh, give their information and provide valuable tips and tricks and real world experiences so that you could actually take them and be successful. I am the leader and organizer of the Dallas Real Estate Investment Group, and we've been in existence for a little bit over 10 years. So we started in 2010, and we've been having regular meetings and real world events for the community, for real estate investors, realtors, anyone that really wanted to learn real estate investing. And it was so cool because we were able to learn. It was like getting a PhD in real estate. And I didn't even know it. I was really just starting a group so that it would give everyone a forum to learn. So the last decade, I've been able to empower hundreds of people uh, through my student and mentorship program. But it was really exciting to see people grow and have fun doing real estate. But one of the things that I learned was just having meetings and not being able to tie it to projects was really difficult because people struggled. They'd learn, but they were like, well, what am I going to do? I've learned all this information, but I'm really struggling with, getting out of the gate. So completely transformed Dallas REIG in the last year. COVID actually provided a little bit of a break for everybody, and that ourselves included. And it was really tough. But what it did is it allowed us to sit back and take a look and evaluate what are our best practices and what's the best way to obtain real estate, especially when people weren't lending. And then you had your tenants and people that were struggling to make their payments. What were some of the strategies that we were able to use, even though there was government intervention, as most of you know? What were some of the strategies that people were able to use? So I was able to reach out to a lot of my friends and see what they were doing, and it was wonderful because it was like a village. And so I want to take that platform and allow all of you to follow what we're doing. So wanted to say welcome to Dallas REIG and the new and reinvented Dallas REIG. So we have a website, obviously it's been reinvented, and it's dallasreig.com. We have basically two options. One's a free membership and the other one is a paid membership. And with that paid membership, you get access to our opportunity circles. And I'll explain to you what that is on the next slide. But it gives you rights to exclusive events, free access to our monthly event, discounts with our workshops, but also discounts with when we're working on projects. Because we'll be able to hopefully list a lot of those for you, and you're provided with discounts as a member. So our community memberships, you get access to free website content. And one of the things that we um, invented for the website was we're putting actual documents and resources on the website. And so you'll see with our opportunity circles, whatever that opportunity circle is, we're going to actually highlight and support that with uh, documentation or information that revolves around that specific month and that topic. So, our monthly events that you can attend will be the first and third Saturday of each month. We're still having meetings, not as often. For those of you that attended, we were meeting every week. But now we find that it's much more advantageous to you for us to be in the field and for us to assist you with your projects because we're project focused now. So one of the things that we focused on as our first meeting is a networking event that will allow you to meet like-minded people. And we'll be going to other meetings as well, but we want to bring everyone in and share the successes and failures, right? So you can learn just as much from what not to do as what you can do, right? From success for people out there. But one of the things that we want to do is just bring like-minded people together. So we're going to do that the first Saturday of every month. And then the third Saturday is going to be the actual topic. We're going to have guest speakers, we're going to have panels. For example, this month is our money month, our finance month, which we're going to be talking about in this podcast. But we're going to have a panel of experts. And a lot of times, what's going to happen is the people that I use or are vetted, or they recommend, they'll be able to share what they have to offer. And then also case studies that will help you be successful with what we do. One of the things I also want to highlight is we do training in the field. So we're looking to do a lot of real world events in the field because we feel that's where you learn, right? So you're going to see that. I think that's one of the things that made us unique. We were always in the field and people really like that. So we're going to team up with a lot of our vendors and companies that are supporting us with our opportunity circles to show you and highlight how you actually can, use them along with be successful with our vendors. So opportunity circles. So what are those? So one of the things that we focused on before were just topics that supported real estate investing. And that's great. And there's a lot of different avenues for you to do that. And we're no different than that. We want to share with you as much information as possible. However, one of the things that we realized is that a lot of people were not doing projects. And so because of that, we revamped to make sure that our opportunity circles fit that need for you. So we'll highlight what these circles are. So the objective of an opportunity circle is to generate revenue and to allow that person to learn if they want to while generating the revenue. So there's two different ways that you can participate in an opportunity circle. One is just to be passive. So if you're working a 9 to 5 or you're just too busy, but you really like what we're doing, and obviously we're licensed and we have access to uh, contractors that are bonded. But if you're really interested in doing that, then you can just invest right in our projects. But the second way you can participate is if you really want to learn, you can do the DIY track, which is do it yourself, and you can participate that way. So that's like your training, your typical training classes, but ours are hands on because we're actually doing projects. So when I highlight these opportunity circles, you'll be able to see not only can you invest, but then you can actually participate. And you might have a deal right now where you could actually become a member and then participate immediately with the Dallas Real Estate Investment Group. And that's what this podcast is going to do. It's going to highlight those opportunity circles with real live deals, real live issues that you'll be able to learn and take with you. The power went out on the camera. Oh no, it's blinking. Was it okay? So one of the things that uh, we did is we looked at what are the best ways that we could actually highlight uh, assisting you. So there's 6 opportunity circles. The first one is fix and flip. The second one is owner finance. The third one is finance. Fourth one is new construction. Fifth one is rental revenue and basically revenue. And the sixth one is small multifamily. So, with like mentioned earlier, you can actually do it yourself or you can just passively invest. And so, with our fix and flip, you can actually just invest in the deal or in the project, or you can be alongside our teachers and trainers, and then you can learn how to uh, do a successful buy and resell or flip. With our owner finance, we have developed a process where you could actually finance or support uh, that by doing gap funding, or you might want to owner finance it yourself if you're a landlord that hasn't done this in a while. You might or don't want to actually be a landlord. You can do that as well. You can transition those into a owner finance position where you now are operating as the bank. In addition to that, we're providing resources where you can learn to do an owner finance yourself and all the rules and regulations that go along with that. Next is our finance. So that's our money opportunity circle. And so if you just want to invest in the projects, you will provide an avenue for you to do that. That's similar to crowdfunding. So if you want to just invest and get a return, you can do that as well. Next is new construction. This is the thing that makes, I think, Dallas RIG very unique. We build from the ground up. And so we have the ability for you to invest again, just like with fix and flip. But now you can learn how to build from the ground up. But hopefully, it's going to be your project. So if you want to learn how to do that, we'll provide that opportunity for you. And then we have a revenue opportunity circle, and that is when you have a business opportunity, and but it requires real estate. So your self storage, your mobile home parks, your RV parks, something that you want to do, but it requires real estate. Again, we have the ability to take you to the right financial institutions or private money lenders, as well as the subject matter experts that are well versed in that arena to help you be successful. And then next is our small multifamily. So when we consider small multifamily is 8 units and smaller. And so if it's an eightplex, fourplex, duplex, that will fit the criteria for small multifamily. Those are very popular and they're very lucrative for resale. And so we're actually going to highlight that, have subject matter experts that can help you navigate through that opportunity circle, but also we can build them as well. So that might not be something you've ever considered is building from the ground up. And that's one of the things that we want to highlight. So again, there's 6 opportunity circles. It's the fix and flip, owner finance, finance, which is investing passively, new construction, revenue, which is operating as a business and just infusing it with real estate, and then small multifamily, which is 8 units and smaller. And so if you're interested in those, you can participate right away. One of the things I want to highlight with our owner finance opportunity circles, if you're a landlord that wants to transition some of your portfolio, we have the ability to help you do that. So again, we can actually train you and assist you with doing that. One of the things I want to highlight as well with our opportunity circles, we're going to have opportunity circle leaders, and they're subject matter experts within that area of expertise. So we've spent a lot of time developing relationships with people that have actually done this business over time. So we want to make sure that you benefit from those relationships that we have. So today's topic, we're going to discuss the types of money that real estate investors use. Now, I think that this is definitely the most important uh, skill you need to have when you're doing real estate investing. Because the one thing that we really want to have is money, right? So if you ask anyone who's doing this, well, why are you doing it? Well, financial freedom. Okay, so what does that mean to you? Well, typically it's your time, having access to your time and being able to do exactly what you want. So if that's the case, then you should be really good at money, right? And then be really good at access to money. And so no one really, a lot of people don't spend time developing relationships with people that can provide you with money. And that's one of the things that I do. I would say half of my time is spent on the phone with people that can allow me to have the ability to purchase and acquire deals and opportunities without leveraging my own resources. And so I think one of the things you'll learn from any of the books you've read is developing relationships with people and businesses that will allow you to leverage um, your time, right, and your abilities to gain access to their money. Now, again, when I say time, it doesn't mean necessarily mean it has to be yours, but it does need to be spent investing in being a successful real estate investor and making sure you take it from beginning to close. And so that's what we do at the Real Estate Investment Group. And with this podcast, is we're going to actually introduce you to people that are successful doing this. So the first one I want to talk about is hard money. So a lot of people that start in this business gravitate immediately towards hard money, and it's not a bad thing. But what I think is people don't really have a good understanding of why they should be using it. It's just easy. Don't really have a back office where they've secured relationships with private money lenders or institutional banks. And so this is the first step, which is not really, like I said, not a bad thing. However, when you're looking at using hard money, I recommend highly joint venturing and definitely utilizing a mentor to help you navigate through this process, right? Because hard money loans provide cash quickly, but their terms aren't necessarily the best. And so one of the things that I did is I brought one of my friends, and this is I'm just going to kind of glance and show you uh, a sheet that I have. But what this highlights right here is, and I don't know if you can see this, but very clearly, is this is actually a hard money lender's term sheet. And what I'll do is I'm going to read this to you because this is what you're going to get when you go to a real estate investing meeting or when someone presents this to you. And so let me read this to you really quickly. Is the terms are 3 points, which means it's 3 percentage points of whatever they lend you. So for this example, if it's $100,000 loan, that's going to be $3,000, 3 percentage points of 100,000. That's going to be $3,000, and that's origination. So typically that's upfront to originate the loan. And so that is what they're going to require for you to obtain their financing. Also, they're going to do an appraisal. A lot of times when there's a individual that's a hard money lender, they're going to be their own appraiser, which is the benefit because a lot of institutional banks might not approve your loan, but individuals might go ahead and finance an opportunity that institutional banks might not. So that's another advantage of using hard money. But the downside is that there's usually a short time frame for you to use that money. Anywhere, typically the standard time is 6 months. So if it's 6 months, that means you have to have a team in place to actually do the fixing and repairs to get it ready to sell. Uh, so you can actually realize that profit. That's where we come in. So what we developed in that opportunity circle, which is the fix and flip, is we actually are the crew or the GC. So when you work with us and you do get hard money, now we have the ability to partner with you and joint venture with you so that that project can actually start, we can actually manage it and then finish and then sell um, that property for you to be successful. So you're not alone. And this works for beginners and seasoned investors because we have really good relationships with crews that are really good, vetted, bonded, and they actually will respond and be there on time, which a lot of people struggle with, right? Is having relationships that they can actually rely on. So we have been working years to develop these relationships, but hard money is actually a good way to acquire properties because I'm not using my own money. And because I'm not using my own money, able to scale and do more deals. And that's what's crucial in this business is lowering my risk, which means not using my money, and then seeking multiple opportunities so that I can maximize my returns. And so hard money is one way to do that. We have hard money lenders that not only sponsor our group, but also they come to meet and greet at our networking events for you to actually meet and share with them your experience. Here's the other thing when I mention experience. Typically, a hard money lender is going to want you to have experience. Usually, it's being able to have shown them that you've done 3 deals, 3 completed deals within the last 12 months. Some are not, but the ones that are actually, some don't allow you to do that or require you to do that. But those that provide you with the best terms will want to know you have experience. And then that's a sliding scale, right? You'll get better terms with the more experience you have. So, how do you combat that if you don't have experience? Well, you would work with someone like us at the group. And it's not just us, we have friends, we have other real estate professionals that we can actually leverage to help you, but that's just the way it works. Is people want to reduce their risk and they want to make sure that you have experience doing that, doing a project. So that doesn't matter if it's single family, if it's multifamily, new construction. People are going to want to know that you can actually complete a project, right? If they're going to lend you money. And so we will actually provide that experience for you when we work with you. So that's one of the reasons why we transitioned into doing an opportunity circle because now what we realize is people wanted us to partner with them instead of just going and hearing a presentation about hard money or money. Well, I heard that, Joe, but how do I use it? I mean, I don't even know. I think I have a good deal, but I don't really know if it is. Can you help me? Well, now we will partner with you and joint venture with you with this opportunity circle. So we're excited about that. So private money is lending essentially to uh, a non-bank or a non-insured bank. So that is when an individual decides to loan you money. This, in my opinion, is the best avenue if you can actually develop a relationship with a person that is very successful, but they're not in real estate, but they really believe in it and you can scale. So, one of the other things that this is really, um, really good at doing for you as the investor is you can eliminate paying some of the upfront costs like points. If you're experienced, a lot of times you won't have to actually pay points, right? Because if you're making them money with an interest rate it's north of 10%, and I would say your interest rates vary, but the range is anywhere from 10% to 15%. And a lot of times, again, that depends on your experience. But if you're a savvy investor or you actually have partnered or joint ventured with someone that you can show success with, you're a private money individual is going to realize real quickly if they're earning 12% on their money and it's turning every 3 to 6 months, that is a no brainer for them. One of the things too is that it'll be secured by real estate, right? That'll be the collateral, and we'll show you how we structure that, and we'll talk about it. But private money takes time to develop relationships if they're not friends or family, right? You can meet those people or individuals at our groups. I've been able to meet several that lend to me myself personally and people within the group, but that does take time to develop. But one of the ways you do that is, I'd say, in a village. And so, as you're coming to the meetings and you're developing relationships with us, we will be able to share with them that, hey, this person has worked with us, and will vouch for them, or we will assist them, so we can make sure that the risk is averted as much as possible. So, private money is something you don't should always strive for, because when you are actually looking to put a contract or an offer on a property, then it's timing, right? So with private money, also it's very fast. So if you know that you have access to, let's say, 500,000 or $1 million at a drop of a hat, then you can write that offer and already have a pre-qualification letter in place, and you can close within a day or two, right? So you can actually close then. I mean, because that person will allow you to do that. So that gives you, an advantage over your competition, and that's one of the things you really want to do. So money, like I said, is something that you really have to be good at, because that is what's going to make you look better, not only to the seller, but also it's going to allow you to be faster. And so your competitor might not have the ability to get private money. They might have to take a couple hours to get their money, whereas you might be able to just go ahead and write a check right there. And so that could actually get you the deal immediately. So we will walk you through how that works. We're actually gonna, like I said, this is our money month, and we're gonna discuss that at the real estate investment group this month, and that's going to help you determine how you actually approach private money individuals. And then you could actually, if you are a member, utilize our experience to do so. So next are banks. And one of the things that I think people don't really understand about banks is, you typically will just think of the traditional loan that you're going to obtain when you go into a bank. And so investors a lot of times don't want to go to a bank. But let me tell you something. This is one of the ways that I separated myself from my competition, because the banks that I actually developed relationships with use what's called DSCR loans, which means debt service coverage ratio loans, and they're evaluated based on the property's rental income. And so if you're looking at doing buy and hold, they will actually open their arms to you, and they'll really be happy and excited. And there's no limit on how many loans you can get, as long as you are uh, successful and you have some experience with, operating and managing properties. And again, if you are hiring a property manager, and you can show that you have a debt service coverage ratio and that it meets their criteria, then you'll be able to leverage a bank like this over and over and over again. And we have several that we use. And I've done multiple deals, and still have properties I've had over 15 years because of this. And so we're going to share with you how that works. And actually, at our next meeting, one of my banks that I use is going to be attending, and they're going to kind of give you the formula of how this works. But I want you to understand that DSCR loans are what sets you apart. A lot of people think, well, Joe, I can't get a loan, I can't get a rental. I've been working on my credit. But again, with DSCR loans, it's based on the asset. And so a lot of times, just like with hard money, a lot of times they're looking at the asset, and then you're looking at your experience. And so once you develop those, you can do real estate investing pretty well, especially with us. And so that's one of the things that we want to highlight. And in this month is, who do you need to work with? What types of money is out there? Who do you reach out to? How do you get educated? Do I have to spend a whole lot of time doing it? Well, you have to scale, right? That means having the right team. And definitely having the different types of subject matter experts with money is going to allow you to scale your business a lot faster. And so with the increase in values of homes, you definitely need to have a team and the ability to access money quickly. Also, we're going to highlight, and I don't have a slide on this, but is gap money, gap funding. And so, real quickly, gap funding allows you to obtain a property with 100% financing. And let me give you that example. Typically, what'll happen is when you go to a hard money lender, they're going to offer you a loan of 70% of loan to value. So if it's $100,000 property, they're going to loan you up to $70,000 for that property. Well, there's still $30,000 that are owed. And so in the past, if you didn't know this, you would have to go to your bank and obtain $30,000 and grab it from your bank. Well, there's gap funders, that's what we call the gap. They will loan you that $30,000. It'll be a little higher interest rate because they're not in what's called first lien position, but it's a short term opportunity for them. And in our business, because we're actually the general contractor, we're the ones that are kind of reducing the risk for them. So they know that that project will be completed. So we're going to have gap funders, that will attend the meetings and allow you to obtain properties at 100%. And so if you don't understand this concept and you haven't heard of it, definitely if you're in the local area, come to the Dallas Real Estate Investment Group and we'll actually introduce you and we'll talk to you about how that works. And in your area, wherever you live, you can definitely reach out and see if people will loan you money for that gap funding. One of the things I wanted to highlight is we have different companies that support the Dallas Real Estate Investment Group and the Real Estate for Life podcast. We are a full fledged builder, which is Ascend Builders. We're a full fledged rehab company, which is SOS Renovations. I am the broker of the Next Level Realty Group. So we have agents that focus on traditional, which we say just a traditional buy and sell clientele, and the investor focused realtors. And so they actually focus primarily on working with investors and fix and flips. And so I highly recommend that if you're not familiar with realtors, how to work with them, we will share that with you too at subsequent meetings so that you can actually learn how to interact with realtors and get them to send you opportunities that they might not know they can do. And then also we have a property management company that supports our landlords and also supports people that are doing owner finance because that's actually a component of what we do. So I'm excited to meet as many people as I can and interact with people that are in the real estate investing arena. Dallas Real Estate Investment Group, along with Real Estate for Life, will be an ongoing relationship based business that's going to support the environment that we're in for the next, uh, 5 to 10 years. And the reason why I say that is because I think personally, from what you see and what you're reading in the news, that we're in store for a decrease in value in a lot of the properties that are out there. So this is kind of like it was in 2009 to 2011 when you saw values start coming down. And so with interest rates that are high, that obviously stalls a lot of the price creep. And so now that you start seeing inventory, you have to be ready to actually not only acquire the property but rehab the property as well. And so we're equipped to do that, and we're equipped to joint venture with you now. Like I said, with our opportunity circles, each one of those will have a subject matter expert, that an opportunity circle leader that will work with you, and then you will be able to scale your business, learn how to do the business without being on your own. And that's one of the reasons why we've developed a new strategy for uh, the Dallas Real Estate Investment Group. So, if there's any questions, you can send them to Joe at dallasreig.com, and tune in to our podcast. And also, you can actually attend our meetings if you're in the local Dallas Fort Worth area. So I look forward to continuing speaking with you on different topics and learning together for with this new market that we're in. We're going to be acquiring and rehabbing, building, creating loans and financing for individuals to make them successful. But I think if you're really interested in real estate investing, this is a really good time to do it. You just have to be educated and know how to go about it in the right way. It is now the time to get ready to equip yourself with a good team. Also, have the money that we're talking about or access to the funds to actually be able to acquire these properties. And so, again, our meeting is on the 20th of May, and we will put the link in the chat for you to be able to go ahead and sign up. Again, if you're in the local area, we're going to have three panelists. One's going to be an institutional lender, we're going to have a hard money lender, and then a private money subject matter expert that you can learn from. So excited to continue having these discussions with you and hopefully meeting a lot of you that are out there that want to learn how to real estate invest. So I'll talk to you.